guessing, keep me guessing, keep me guessing, keep me guessing. Just like ooh la la, it's not hard to say how I feel. Ooh la la, it's kinda easy now cause it's real. It's like ooh la la, it ain't hard to say how I feel. It's like ooh la la, it's kinda easy now cause it's real. Gonna say how I feel, cause I know that it's something real. Gonna say how I feel, cause I know that it's something real. Hey, hey. Gonna say how I feel, cause I know that it's
Hey, hi everybody. How are you this evening? Gretchen here with Keeping It Real, and it's good to see all my story and art fam here with me. Love it, you guys. So good to see you. Just a heads up tonight. I have a board meeting for my Two Waters Arts Alliance. Like, that's just say earlier than I normally finish, so I might not be as verbose as I oftentimes am tonight. Who knows, though? But I want to say hi to everybody. Hi, Janice. And Deirdre's here. Yay. Nathan, hi. Julie E., good to see you. You guys had a train today. I saw parts of it, bits and pieces there. Angie, good job today stepping in and showing what you had and going with the tech difficulties. You know, that's what happens. Live, just every time that happens to you, put in your head my Wicked Witch of the East night. Remember? When all you could see was my feet and my black and white striped socks. Yeah, okay. Great. And to have Deirdre's here, Janice, Angie, yay, ooh la la. Deidre, Janice. Just checking on everybody. Gloria, hi, Gloria. Oh my gosh, you had such a fun live yesterday. That was so neat. And I'm glad you liked the intro. This was kind of a fun one to try to put together to fit a little bit and tell. I don't have any homework done. Oh, you know what? So I'm going to tell everybody right up front, because I have to be on this board meeting Zoom call. I'm going to end. Not everybody didn't get the chance to finish a neurographic or do what they did or send them in. I'm going to save those for tomorrow night, and I'm going to put them into a better fitting. Otherwise, I would have been just. Today was Monday, and my Tarts group finally got to meet together. True Art Resonates Through Sisterhood is my group. A bunch of ladies from out here on the Key Peninsula and in Gig Harbor that have, they would get together every Monday at the fire station up the way. And then when COVID hit, the fire station closed. And so we were doing it by Zoom. And then now, little bit by little bit, we've been able to gather together. We were back at the fire station, then it closed again. Now we were at Gal's house on the harbor. And so I went there today and just watched people paint and did some of my own neurographic stuff. And it was great. It was just fun. So I got back later than I expected and didn't gather everything. But I also want to wait till everybody gets a chance. I didn't want to rush this. And so if you caught Jack's, Jaha art he posted a 4.5-minute thing of a neurographic that he did. He sent me an email this morning. He had been watching last night, lurking in the background. He watches quite frequently, he told me, and but doesn't chime in because it's his wind down. And he knew of neurographic art and had used it some time ago before he started paint pouring as a form of art therapy after an injury. And so he had forgotten all about it. And he saw our show last night, saw it, it reminded him. And so he added it to one of his paint pour pieces. And if you get a chance, go check out that video. He sent me like late last night, the picture and everything, and I got the email with the picture of it, and then he told me he'd done a video, and I'm just so excited that it brought back something for him in that way. Yay. It's good to see everybody here. Oh, okay, cool. So Nathan, we'll just get them all tomorrow. I'm going to not try to race through them, and it'll go along with tomorrow. Tomorrow is National Walk Your Dog Day, so I have a great story for that day too. Oh my, thank you. I'm glad you like my frame, Julie. That's one of my photographs, actually. That is one of my abstract photographs. That is a wall. I think that's a wall, a cement wall at Fort Worden State Park in the old bunkers. I'd have to look again to see, but that's, and then I just stuck myself in the middle of it. Oh, time to turn the heat off again. Gretchen forgot. Ugh. Roasting. There we go. So, oh, hi, Linda. Nice to have you here. Excellent. We have somebody new, first time. I don't think you've been here before, Linda. Thank you for joining us. I love it that you're here. Can't find my charger cord. You're going to listen from the TV. I do that frequently, but I finally have enough cords that I can usually find a charger. It's a matter of finding one where my phone will actually charge on. Yeah. So, oh, I'm glad you made it. Yep. Everybody is so good to have people here. We're saying hi to Linda, checking through. And he watches almost every night. Yes, that's what Jack told me. It's just so cool. I love. Yeah. It wasn't a huge coincidence. He was watching, and I just thought it was so cool. Oh, Donna, yeah, go watch it. It was a fun one. It was a new form of art to me, and we had some people here that knew about it, and Mona was here, and she was all into it, and Jack apparently knew about it, had used it, but he was silently listening in the background, and I think somebody else, I think Gloria, was it Gloria? Somebody else knew about it. Julie E., I think it was too. Perpetual game of catch-up. Well, you just hop forward and jump in where it is. Yeah, it was a great idea to embellish a pour. I was really, really excited that he did that. I'm a newbie, happy to be here. Well, we are excited to have you here. Normally, I wouldn't be racing quite so much as I feel like I am now, but I am on the board of Two Waters, and I do have a board meeting that I kind of have a responsibility to be there for too in my other life. So let's take a sip. Oh, hello, camera got in my... How did that guy get in there? Did it just lean into me? Oh, well, you guys can just pretend it's not there. Oh, my camera arm has been the loveliness of lives. That's okay. At least I don't have to edit. Yep. Yeah. Gloria is calling you out, Jack. Oh my gosh. I watched your Pouring with the Fellas today. The big one. And my husband was watching too, and he was like, wow. Aloha, Helen. So, well, everybody, as you probably know, here in the United States, Nathan, you don't know and Deirdre, not for you guys, but today is President's Day in the United States, and it's always funny because Washington's birthday was different from President's Day. When I was growing up, they had Washington's birthday in the state of Washington that we would celebrate. We would have that day off. And then there was President's Day. So now they just kind of combine them all together. But because Washington's birthday is, I think, the 22nd, and the President's Day is always the third Monday of the month of February. So it would change, but yeah. So anyway, today is President's Day. And I found this book that, again, in my kind of theme where I'm going, have been doing some that are the story that's the documentary type story. This one is a really cute, fun one that is about a girl and a garden. And the name of the book tonight is Diana's White House Garden. Now, it is by a lady by the name of, let me get her up here. Oh, cancel. Elisa Carbone. And here, oops, well, there it is. She's written a fair number of books over here. You see on the side. Most of them are like chapter books, historical type chapter books for kids, or some other kind of probably more like 4th, 5th, 6th grade type of books, not picture books. Some of them are done with really amazing issues, how she deals with them and stuff. Oopsie, I did that again. And then like Poison in the, whoa, okay, stop. Let me lock that. Sorry, you guys. Whoa, my scroll wheel. There we go. I was trying to move the page on, oh yeah, never mind. I wasn't touching my iPad when I was moving the page. Come on. Okay. So she has a fair number of books. She's a full-time writer and a part-time rock climber, windsurfer and whitewater paddler, organic gardener, and a blues piano player. One minute she's buried in documents researching deliveries of paint to Mateo and Pea Island, North Carolina in 1895. And the next minute she's windsurfing or rock climbing or kayaking the whitewater of the Potomac River. Elisa Carbone pays attention to accuracy and detail, whether she's working on her next historical novel or finding the best crevice for her foot on the next rock. I thought that was pretty cool. Now, this other gal who is the illustrator, her website, when you open it up, it starts with this. And it doesn't even take you right to her page. It starts with this, Be Kind by Pat. That was a book she illustrated, and it tells a little bit about it and when it came. And I thought that was a really cool thing, the way she opened her website to this. And then you continue to her studio, and it had some current books in her bio. She's the illustrator of Diana's White House Garden. Jen's children's television credits include Time Warp Trio, Home Movies, Sesame Street English. Occasionally, Jen has worked in an office where she is mostly creative jobs. She once led a team of artists to create a symbol language and illustrated content for the Tango, a speech-generating device for nonverbal children. Oh, I know that device. We used to have, one of my students had a Tango. I did not know that. Anyway, she's another one of those graduates of the Rhode Island School of Design, where she studied children's book illustration, and with David Mccauley. Okay, who knows the book Castle, or the books Cathedral, where he has all the line drawings. Oh my gosh, David Mccauley is the bomb when it comes to that stuff. You can find her in Brooklyn, New York, where she's either doodling away in her studio in the pencil factory or at home on Cobble Hill with her husband and her cat. Pretty cool, huh? So anyway, Their links are in the description if you want to see a little bit more about them. But I'm going to read about this little girl, Diana's White House Garden. It's based on a true story, so that's pretty wonderful. One of my favorite kind, that story documentary for kids. Ah, yay! That's cool. Oh, yeah, wasn't it? Back to lurking. See, you got called out, Jack. You can go lurk, because this is your wind down time, and that you do what you need to do, because this is all I'm doing this. I mean, for me, it is a huge creative outlet to do this stuff and to get to read stories. And I mean, you guys don't wiggle in your seats as much as the kids would when I read to them in the library. At least I can't tell. And I can pretend you're all paying attention. And I can't hear your chatter amongst each other. So that's okay too. All of that's all good. I can still read the story, do my host storytelling bit, and that I love to do. And it really makes me feel good. And I know that in some little way, it reaches each of you in a different way. And I mean, Jack's production of this piece that he did and put out the videos, a perfect example. And Angie with her Sumei, the dragons that she sent me, and you guys with your other things that you've been sending me. I'm just blown away. Yeah, I'm just blown away. So now it's time for a story. Okay? Diana's White House Garden, based on a true story. I love the dog. The illustrations in this are much more muted than some of the last pieces that we've had, but it's meant to fit with the time. Diana Hopkins lived in a White House, the White House. She lived there with her father, Harry Hopkins, who was the president's chief advisor, and the housekeepers and butlers, and George the groundskeeper, and of course, President Roosevelt and his wife, Eleanor. It was 1943, and the White House was a busy place. The United States was at war. American soldiers were fighting across the world. "We all need to do our part to win this war," President Roosevelt said. Diana wanted to do her part, but what could a 10-year-old girl do? "I could be a spy," Diana decided. And to practice, she snuck into the dumbwaiter and rode it down to the White House basement kitchen. Then she tried to tiptoe away without anyone seeing her. But Mrs. Nesbit, the head housekeeper, caught her. "The dumbwaiter is for dirty linen, not little girls," she said sternly. That's my mother's voice, by the way. The next day, Diana played with Fala, the Roosevelt's little Scottish terrier. They played catch. They fetched the stick. Fala ran after Diana as she roller skated on the driveway past the White House guards. Then they sat together and rested. "I know, Fala," Diana said. "I could be a city official. Those are those people who hang important signs like air raid shelter or buy war bonds." To practice, she painted a very important sign, but where to hang it? It says quarantine, measles, keep out. On the second floor, she peeked into her father's study. He was working quietly at his desk. Just as quietly, Diana lifted up the sign and hung it outside his door. Quarantine, measles, keep out. At supper, her father sighed. "What if the president needed me, but my office said keep out?" he asked her. Diana promised not to hang any more signs. But she still wanted to help with the war effort. She decided to listen to one of President Roosevelt's fireside chats on the radio. "My fellow Americans," he began, and then he talked about how citizens and soldiers needed to work together to defeat the enemy. What if the enemy tried to come into the White House? Diana wondered. How could they be kept away? She had an idea. She put pins in all the satin chairs in the red room, the green room, and the blue room. Sharp pins sticking straight up. That would send enemies away in a hurry. The housekeepers found the pins and took them out just in time for Eleanor Roosevelt's formal afternoon tea. They found most of the pins anyway. Oh dear, I think somebody got stuck. Ouch! Mrs. Roosevelt's friend was not happy. Mrs. Roosevelt was not happy. Diana got sent to her room. One evening, Diana went to the Oval Office, where her father was chatting with President Roosevelt. She stood near the president's chair and played with the toys on his desk. There were little carved donkeys and elephants and a teddy bear named Uncle Teddy. "Harry, I've decided I want most of the food our farmers grow to go right to our soldiers, to make sure they're well fed and strong," the president said to Diana's father. Mr. Hopkins frowned. "But then what will our civilians eat?" he asked. "I have a plan," said President Roosevelt. "I want people to grow their own food." Mr. Hopkins raised an eyebrow. The president, "Oops, I lost the picture. What happened? What'd I do? Oh, my goodness. I made it so small. Sorry, you guys. I did it again. Boy, catch me." I moved my mouse out of the way, and I forgot to relock that. See, Angie? Doing lives. All kinds of stuff. There we go. That shouldn't happen again. Got this bright light in the way, though. Turn that way. There we go. The president continued. "I want every backyard and vacant lot turned into a garden. That way our soldiers and our citizens will be well fed and strong. We'll call them victory gardens because they will help us win the war." Diana's father nodded. "An excellent idea, Mr. President." Diana adjusted the little red tie on Uncle Teddy's neck. "To get the ball rolling, Mrs. Roosevelt and I want to start a victory garden right here on the White House lawn," said the president. And Diana's eyes grew wide. A victory garden? In her own backyard? "We'll need someone to plant the garden and tend it," said the president. Diana sucked in her breath. "I could help," she blurted out. President Roosevelt looked at her. "Well, an excellent idea," he said. Diana's father bought a pair of overalls so she could get to work right away. Mrs. Roosevelt chose a spot on the south lawn right next to the driveway, where there was lots of sunshine. Diana worked with George, the groundskeeper. They turned over the soil. They fertilized the chicken manure. Then Diana planted bean seeds and carrot seeds and cabbage plants and tomato plants. She went to her garden each morning before school. On Monday, Mrs. Roosevelt showed her how to water. On Tuesday, George taught her how to weed. On Wednesday, she watered all by herself. Soon the beans and carrots sprouted and tiny green tomatoes appeared on the tomato plants. One morning, Diana stepped out onto the White House lawn. The sun shone brightly and dew sparkled on the boxwoods and magnolia trees. Everything was beautiful and alive, and she went to see her garden. But what she saw shocked her. Half of her seedlings were gone. Diana gasped. She leaned over to inspect the tiny stubs. Then she heard rustling. Rabbits! Diana scowled. If she couldn't get this garden to grow, she might never find a way to help with the war effort. She wagged one finger at Fala. Your job, she said, is to keep those rabbits out of my victory garden. Then she stomped inside to breakfast. Eleanor Roosevelt helped Diana replant. Sometimes you just have to start over, said Mrs. Roosevelt cheerfully. Soon the new seedlings came up healthy and strong. Diana kept them watered and weeded. The tomatoes were getting bigger, but none of them ripe yet. Diana wondered when and where there would be something to harvest. Fala, gardens sure do take a lot of waiting, she said. Fala kept a watchful eye on the garden. He chased those rabbits all the way to Pennsylvania Avenue. One day, Mrs. Roosevelt told Diana to dress in her overalls, brush her hair, and meet her in the garden. Diana did as she was told, but when she got to the garden, there were two strangers with Mrs. Roosevelt, a man and a woman. Ah, the little girl who is inspiring the whole country, the woman said, and she reached out to shake Diana's hand. Then she lifted her camera and began to take pictures. How does it feel to be helping with the war effort? The man asked, and he held a pad of paper and a pencil, ready to write down her answer. Diana straightened up tall. It feels very good, she said. She only wished that there was something to eat in the garden for the woman to take pictures of. A few days later, her father brought her a newspaper. You're getting famous, he said. There was a picture of her, dressed in overalls, hoeing her garden. Diana farms her White House plot, the headline read. The article went on to say how all across America, people were plowing up city parks and vacant lots, backyards and even front yards, and planting fruits and vegetables. President Roosevelt's plan was working, and she was an important part of it. One morning, as Diana walked toward her garden, something caught her eye. Something red. What could it be? She went closer. The tomatoes were finally ripe. But that wasn't all. Beans hung like slender fingers, and carrots pushed their orange shoulders out of the ground. Diana ran inside to find Mrs. Roosevelt. Are they ready to eat? She asked. And Mrs. Roosevelt came to see, and she smiled. Yes, Diana, take a basket and harvest our supper. Cut the biggest cabbage, too. We'll have a feast. That evening, the White House cook made a wonderful supper. Beef stew with carrots and green beans, cabbage salad, and sliced tomatoes. Everyone cleaned their plates. Diana, you've done a fine job, said President Roosevelt, and not just in your own backyard, but for the whole country. After supper, Diana went outside to her garden. Fireflies flickered on and off, and she patted Fala on the head. You know what? She asked Fala. We both did a fine job. And that's the story. Here's the author's note. It says, the World War II Victory Garden plan grew out of necessity. There was not enough steel and tin to make both fighter planes and tin cans for vegetables. There were not enough train cars to carry soldiers to the ports and to send food around the country. And with Japan controlling the islands where most of the world's rubber plants grew, there was not enough rubber for tires or trucks to carrying food from farm to the city. The Roosevelt's plan was a resounding success. In every city and town, vacant land was turned to food production. City parks, urban yards, vacant lots, and even apartment rooftops were used to grow fruits and vegetables. An estimated 20 million gardens were planted in the U.S., producing between 9 and 10 million tons of food, over 40% of all the produce eaten in the United States. Community centers offered classes in canning, and the harvest was put away to feed the country during the winter as well. Diana Hopkins, now Diana Halstead, fondly remembers her time as the White House Victory Gardener and how her story reached the country via the newspaper and magazines, articles written about her. She also remembers playing with Vala, riding the dumbwaiter, hanging the measles sign outside her father's door, and putting pins in all those chairs, and the trouble she got into when one of Mrs. Roosevelt's friends sat on one. Diana continued to have a vegetable garden as she grew up and became an adult, and she now grows tomatoes, string beans, and zucchini in her backyard garden in Virginia. Isn't that cool? And the illustrator's note was a lot of research went into depicting Diana's world. Thanks to the New York Public Library, the FDR Library, and the museum in Hyde Park, New York, the PBS miniseries The Roosevelts, and Intimate History, and countless internet research references, I was able to portray details with historical accuracy. When the events of this story took place in 1943, the world was a very different place than it is today. Segregation was still legal. However, Eleanor Roosevelt, a staunch advocate for civil rights, insisted that the White House domestic staff be African American. The butler shown in the second spread is John Pye, famed for having purchased the very first war bond from President Roosevelt in 1942. The first official Wonder Woman comic debuted in the summer of 1942, just in time for Diana to realistically be reading it. I found it a fun prop as well as an apt metaphor for Diana's determination to be a hero for her country. I hope you are as delighted and inspired by Diana Hopkins as I was. Now, I haven't found, I was going to go back and find this superhero comic, because there's the butler, there's John Pye, and where she was reading the comic, I missed it, war bonds, measles. Oh, there's the superhero magazine right there. There, the comic. Yes, and the Wonder Woman outfit that she would have been wearing. Nice. Okay, that's where it was. And the pins. Can you imagine? Oh, can you imagine? Oh, my goodness. So that is Diana's White House garden. I love the way that the illustrator went back to that semi-sepia tone, soft memory type aspect with the way she did the paintings and the illustration. I'm not sure if they're done with watercolor or what, but it sure is. I'm wiggling like a wriggly worm. I'm bouncing off the walls that you guys are cracking me. Falling asleep late last night. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, Angie. I'm glad you guys cracked me up. You're the best classroom. You really are the best class. How amazing to live in the White House. I know. Went to the White House. I have just been outside the White House when Annalena went had a world jump rope contest back in Maryland. There, I could see the Statue of Liberty from my bedroom and never visited the statue. Oh, I cannot. Did the White House on a school field trip. Yeah, we always take our surroundings for granted. We really do. I mean, people think about the Space Needle here in Seattle. I've been to it a couple of times. Everybody just goes, oh yeah, there's just things that I have missed out going to. You got engrossed in Yellowstone and forgot the time. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Hi, Joanne. It's glad to have you here. So anyway, everybody, that's the story for President's Day I wanted to share. And it just takes one to start. Those I can remember our own garden, and Mom talking about how that they had started it, because in 1943 was the year that she and Dad got married, and they were in Texas, and then ended up coming back up to Yakima, but Dad was still in the service, and so the gardens that she planted and what we had as kids growing up we always had that. Canning was a huge thing for us. And my grandmother always had a big vegetable garden and her big flower garden. I love it. I'm not a gardener though. I could, but yeah, that would mean I'll go take pictures of them. But yeah, cool, so cool. Reminds me how everyone started gardens at the start of the quarantine. Yes, they did, and that and the other thing it reminded me of, if you look into the gardens that Bette Midler started in New York on the little lots and how it's continued in that type of, or pea patches, have community pea patches, but Bette did that work in New York to add on to, and those, and is still working in that, and how it's kind of spread in different cities across the way. Over here in the Northwest, we have them all over the place, community gardens, and people have them. It's pretty cool to see. EVP's in the Lincoln bedroom. Oh my gosh, you're funny. Oh yeah, the Space Needle is some so. My Space Needle story, we'll probably have to wait till another time because I'm going to be late to my board meeting. Yeah, my mom had to. That's when the World's Fair opened in '62. I was 6. Needless to say, after a trip to the Space Needle, my mom put me on a leash. Just saying. I'll tell you that story sometime. Anyway, so as I said, that's where I got all the ideas for that the opening to do all those gardens together. Anyway, everybody, I hate to rush off, but I do need to get to my board meeting, and I wanted to share this. But if you haven't finished, or you have any artwork that you would like to share with the group, email it to me, or send it via messenger. But my email, imagesbygretchen@icloud.com. Just Images by Gretchen. Just know that I am a total Mac freak, so everything oops, that's wrong. It should be at icloud.com. See, I missed it. Remove it from the broadcast. Images by Gretchen at icloud.com, and you'll get it right. That was silly. So send them to me. I'm going to put them together to either show tomorrow night or the next night. We'll see how many are still coming in, and whether there are things you did in the Sumei or the Mondrian or the neurographic or anything like that that you would like to share, send it to me. I'm going to put them together. Well, I might just save those for like Wednesday for a whole night where we just share a bunch of those and I find a story. Ooh, I could, that's that. I have an idea. Yes, I have an idea. Okay, but I'm not going to share because I have to figure out the idea before I open my mouth completely. Oh my gosh, here we go. Oh, you guys, see, this is what happens if I don't. Yes, oh my gosh. 2, Ricochet Rabbit has lived in my brain for far too long. But at least now he's got an art path to go down, and bing, 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 which I love. So everybody, you guys, this has been so much fun, and I'm glad you liked the story, and I'm so pleased that you guys got to come along and hear another little documentary story about a little bit of our history. I did not know about this young girl, another one who took a step and did something and made a difference. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. It's the best. We're so fortunate to be able to have access to these type of things and to learn about these little bits of history. I think it's I'm going to keep this one here because Layla's coming out on Thursday. She's going to like to read this one. And probably Thursday night she'll probably read with me. Yeah, you'll get He'll get a bonus that night. So everybody, until the next time, keep sharing your work, keep doing your art, keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight, inside yourself, all around yourself, and in amongst each other. Oh my gosh, I just love that you come into my home and you let me into yours. This is just a joy of a journey. And on that note, we're going to dance this one out tonight. Let's go.
In the heat of the night, we could get lost in all the lights and sounds. Ooh, feeling alright. We won't go home, we will just stay here downtown. There's not just stars on the boulevard. They're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards. I just need you by my side. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh, you got me feeling starstruck too. We could be famous. You want to be famous with me. We could be famous. Come and be famous.
Good night, Gloria. Good night, Helen. Good night,
Blow my
Angie.
mind.
Good night,
Looking like a
Janice,
model, better
Joanne,
than usual.
Deirdre too, and Julie.
You don't even
P.
try.
Oh my gosh,
Now
guys.
average or typical, I put you on a
I tried,
pedestal.
amen. You guys just are so
There's
much
not
out
just
there.